Do you think a lack of faith leads to depression? Do you think not a lack of results, but a lack of faith?
You have to release control in order to have faith. One thing my therapist told me, she said, you're controlling. She said, you're trying to control how he thinks. You're trying to control how he apologizes. You're trying to control. She said, you're going to drive yourself crazy if you don't release control. She said, you will die of stress if you don't release control.
Sheesh.
You have to release control.
Faith is releasing control.
Release control.
Come on.
Release the control. I had to release it. She said, in order for you to see the light at the end of your tunnel, not anybody else's, but your tunnel, you're going to have to release control. And I never lost faith. I lost my trust in God. I always had the faith. I knew one day I was going to get up and not think about that man no more. I knew one day I'm going to get up and I'll be fine. I had a trust. So my faith never wavered, but my trust did. And in order for me to restore my faith, I had to release control. Lack of faith doesn't bring on depression because depression, you don't have control over depression. And for real, you shouldn't let depression have control over you, but that's another thing.
Right.
But I could be happy and I could wake up tomorrow and it's not my decision to cry.
Right.
I don't have the desire to cry, but I'm crying.
Yeah.
So I could have all the faith in the world, but if I don't do something about my depression, then I'm not committing and I'm not working.
Right.
Faith without works is dead.
Right.
So I have to go see somebody in order to help me with my depression.
Differentiate between clinical depression and spiritual depression. I think there's a difference. I think their mental illness exists. I have anxiety disorder. I go to therapy, and I was in therapy at age 16. That's when I started. But I think that I could tell the difference in my mental health being acting up and when it was something spiritual that I needed to address. There are some things that I can't go to my therapist about because it's a spiritual problem. And I think that because we have looped it in this one big depression is the devil, there is no way to address, no, I have a medical condition and I need a vessel of God to assist me with this condition, versus I need you to pray with me for 3 hours. And because we try to pray over a clinical condition, then it's okay, where do I draw the line? How do I approach this issue? And so we don't know how to approach it because we try to slap a prayer on everything and we don't know how to take the proper steps.
Do you feel like sometimes believers try to disregard, or not disregard, numb the feeling, or not embrace the fact that we're mourning?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I've seen a meme that says, you're still broken because you shouted through things you should have went to therapy for. Absolutely. Yes. And I feel like that's the disconnect in the church that we have is pray about it and it'll be all right.
Yeah. Pray it away.
Do this and it'll be all right. You got to of course we got to put our trust in God. But, I need help. I believe that God has chosen people to help you through things. And it's not always a run around the church moment. It's not always a shout moment because I've shouted, I've ran, I've cried. And once that was over, I still had the same feelings. It was just a moment. But I believe God, my therapist is a vessel. That's how I see her. She is a vessel. She was chosen by God for me to help me through certain things. And therapy is one of those things that I needed.
For somebody who needs to be uplifted or helped, how do you as a believer deal with the feeling of, man, this hurts, this sucks?
Let it hurt. Feel it. Go through it. Kick, scream, cry, punch. Nobody, but something. If you have to, feel the feeling because your feelings are valid.
But see, so my contradiction in there is when I kicked, screamed, punched, whatever, that joint ended me up in handcuffs. That joint ended me up in psychiatric wards where they were trying, you know what I mean? It ended me up in a lot of dark places because I was just like, all right, I'm going to get this out whatever way I needed to get it out. And I'm just going to do they tried to sit me down on couches with, I don't even know you, bro. What you going to tell me about myself? We just met. I can talk to you too. I'm blue in the face, but that don't change what I'm going home to. So for me, I was that guy. Granted, I agree therapy works for some people, but for me, I'm not. What do I want to talk to a stranger? I don't want to. I'm not interested in talking to a stranger. Like for me, it really was my alone time. Like
you have to find that way where you can come. Like even if you question it, I mean, all right, yeah. Like even if you question it, you still got to figure out a way to deal with the feeling.
Yeah.
Like not saying you got to hold on to the feeling. Go ahead, Dre.
I would say one of the things that worked for me recently is I'm patient with myself. A lot of people, when they're hurting, they're in a hurry to feel relief. They're in a hurry to, you know, some people like, they get frustrated with themselves when they're not healed yet. Like, man, I'm still dealing with this. Yeah. Like, it's been 6 months and this thing's still on my mind. This thing's still bothering me. And I think so many of us, we get so impatient in our healing process and not understanding the fact that it's a journey. And one of the things I had to do in this time, there's some things, man, I'm still healing from that I dealt with in January. And the year's almost over. And sometimes it's still in my mind. Then I have my days where I feel like I'm completely good. And then I have my days where it feel like it just happened. And I stopped condemning myself for being hurt. I said, you know what, this happened to me. And it takes time.
It's a faith. I guess that's what they say. Faith is a faith walk.
Faith walk.
Yeah, faith walk.
It's a faith walk because I think the trials and obstacles that we face in life, pandemic, social injustice, relationship breakups, things that we are stripped from, we feel. God gave us feelings. Like I don't think emotions are bad things. I think they can help us if we acknowledge them in the right way. Not allow them to dictate our responses, but use it as information to feel, but not to dictate our responses, especially when it comes to faith, because I don't think we will feel like believing all the time.
No, you
Or
won't.
we will not feel like we can make it through, or not feel God in whatever the case may be. But that is what faith is. It is like, it's believing in what you cannot see. It is, and faith, and that's why I think there's a difference between like just belief in something and faith in God.
Yeah.
What would y'all say the difference between belief in something, or belief, or faith in God, and just regular belief or regular faith?
That faith is not based on confirmation. Faith is based on commitment. The woman with the issue of blood, she didn't have confirmation from God that when she got to Jesus, that he was going to heal her. She had faith. And what did Jesus tell her? He said, your faith has made you whole. When the 3 Hebrew boys, when they was facing that furnace, God didn't come down and say, hey, if y'all take a stand for me, I'm going to deliver y'all from this furnace. They said, even if God does it or not, we're still not going to bow. That's commitment. That's saying no matter what it looks like, no matter what the outcome is, I'm going to still stay committed to God. So that's what faith is. Faith is not confirmation that a certain outcome is going to happen. It's like no matter what happens, my faith is still in God, despite what it looks like, despite what's going on. I'm still not breaking my commitment to God. So that's how I look at faith.
Like, almost like faith doesn't allow you to count losses.
Right.
Because like with the Bucks, they lose Sunday, you're disappointed, and it's a loss stat.
Right.
And it's there. But more so with God, even if that game Sunday is a loss in your eyes, there's a bigger picture, and it's a bigger plan that's ultimately like a Super Bowl, where that belief in the Bucks is that loss could mean that your season is over. But with God, that disappointment or that thing that you didn't get just means that it's something else that's going on.
Right.
Yep. Yeah.
Somebody who's out there struggling with faith right now. Somebody who doesn't have faith. Don't believe in God. Maybe have believed before, does it now because of the situation. Why would God let this happen? But it's looking, it's open, or just needs, or the person that just needs a boost of faith. What could you say to them quickly?
Release the control.
Release the control to God. Give that to God.
Let it go. What's the song? Soon as I stop worrying.
Keep asking.
Just
Keep
keep
asking questions.
Keep asking questions.
God is not He's not surprised. He can shoulder your anger and your pain. It's not too big for him.
This is not your fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. I think that's another thing that people are like, what could I have done to be more prepared for a pandemic?
Right. Global pandemic.
Global pandemic.
I have a whole 2020 plan, traveling.
Anything else?
I would say, do not get weary and well doing.
Do not get weary and
Due
well
season, if you faint not, you will reap. In due season.
Due season, you
And
will reap if you faint.
I'd say you're closer than you think. You're closer than whatever you believe in God for is closer than you think. You may think it's, years ahead, but it might be right around the corner. So stay the course.
I've done some things, tried some things for myself, like ventured out, been on my own, and even though I'm not as strong as I want to be right now with my faith, I know that there is no other place in the world that I would rather be than wrapped in God's love. No matter what type of situation or no matter what type of filthiness you've been through, God loves you the same. Though your sins be as red as scarlet, he'll make them white as snow. It's a beautiful thing that no matter what you do, you can't out-sin God's love. And even though, you feel like, all right, I'm at this wall, I'm hitting brick wall after brick wall after brick wall, God ain't left you. God ain't forgot you. Just got to take it one step at a time. And that's what I would encourage you to do.
As children of God, we all need faith. Now, in having a relationship with God, do we doubt? Heck, yeah. Of course we do. But that doesn't stop God from being who he is. It's just like sitting in a chair every day. You might catch a chair that may break on you every now and then. We all caught a couple bad chairs, but it doesn't stop us from sitting. The Bible in Hebrew 11 says that faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So you may not be able to see it. You may not be able to feel it. It might not even always go your way. But what I can promise you is that God is real, he's here, and he wants you to believe. This is The Vault.